today's session we will discuss about menstrual cycle from human reproduction chapter, right? In NCERT, topic number 3.4, it is menstrual cycle. This is our today's topic. Now, menstrual cycle is also called as ovarian cycle. What is it also called? Also called ovarian cycle. So, what does the menstrual cycle represents? So, menstrual cycle represents the events of the ovary development. It represents the events of the uterine development, and mensum in Greek means month. So, what's the meaning of mensum? Means month. From this word only menstrual cycle appeared, and mensum has another meaning. So, mensum, it also means moon. The cycle of moon gets completed in 28 days, right? Moon cycle gets completed in 28 days. We call it as lunar cycle, right? So, female reproductive cycle also gets completed in 28 days. So, from there also they have derived the word called menstrual cycle, which is called ovarian cycle. It represents the cyclic events, what are happening in the ovaries, what are the cyclic changes we can see in the uterus. Now, where can we see menstrual cycle? Menstrual cycle is seen in female primates. Menstrual cycle is seen in female primates. Like, so we have seen this in the previous lecture also. Female primates like humans, monkeys and apes. We have seen the differences between menstrual cycle and estrous cycle in the previous class, right? So, menstrual cycle is preparing the female for fertilization and it's preparing the female for pregnancy. Here we can see the complete events of menstrual cycle. We told menstrual cycle is a cyclic event for 28 days. So, in NCERT 3.9 figure, okay, so they showed the cyclic events from day 1 to day 28 and again the next cycle started. What are the changes in menstrual cycle in the uterus? They are represented in this column. What are the changes which happen inside the ovaries? Ovarian hormonal changes, they showed us here, and the follicular development in this particular days, they have showed us here, and pituitary hormonal levels, they showed us here. So, they have divided the menstrual cycle and they're showing us what are the uterine changes, what are the ovarian changes, what are the pituitary hormonal levels during different phases of the menstrual cycle. So, what is menstrual cycle helping us? Menstrual cycle is preparing the females for fertilization and pregnancy. Menstrual cycle is preparing the female, we can use the symbol for female for fertilization and pregnancy. It is preparing the female for fertilization and pregnancy. Now, menstrual cycle starts from which span of life cycle onwards? Menstrual cycle starts from an age which is called as puberty. It starts at the age of puberty, then it continues throughout the life. So, suspension of menstrual cycle, it occurs during pregnancy. It starts at puberty, temporarily suspending the menstrual cycle for a duration when the embryo is growing inside. It's during pregnancy, it gets suspended, and permanently it gets suspended or permanently it stops when at menopause. So, we can tell that the cycle starts when, the cycle starts at puberty, right? And the cycle temporarily suspends when it temporarily suspends during pregnancy. during the entire 9 months of pregnancy, so ovulation and menstruation will not happen. Why? There is no necessity, because inside the uterus the embryo is getting developed, so there is no necessity for the new egg to be formed. So it is temporarily suspended during pregnancy and it permanently stops at menopause. And it permanently stops. When does it stops? At menopause. It permanently stops at menopause. Now, what is menopause? Menopause is the time when the menstruation stops, when the hormonal production stops. Female sex hormone, estrogen production will stop. Come on, tell me, from where is the estrogen produced? Estrogen is produced by the follicles. When the follicles are not responding, then the female hormone production stops. Then ovulation also stops, egg production also stops. What is that period called? It is called menopause. The age of menopause is variable, but usually menopause occurs at the age of 50 years. Menopause occurs at the age of 50 years. And what is the age of puberty? Generally, in females, puberty occurs at 10 to 14 years. Puberty occurs 10 to 14 years, where the menstrual cycle will start, and it stops at menopause. The age of menopause is 50 years. Now, due to the artificial food and packaged food, so it's starting, the age of puberty is starting early also, and menopause is also approaching early. Now, when the menopause comes, as we discussed, the hormone production stops. What are the post-menopause effects that we will see? So, take a screenshot. Here we will look at the events in the next board. First, take a screenshot. Right? So, we were discussing about menstrual cycle. It's also called ovarian cycle. The meaning of mensum means month, and the meaning of menses is also called as moon, and it is a moon cycle. So, moon cycle is also called lunar cycle. Lunar cycle, it completes its rotation in 28 days. So, that's why from there also they have derived the word called menstrual cycle. Where it is seen? It is seen in female primates like monkeys, apes and humans. Menstrual cycle, so what can we see? The development in menstrual cycle means we can see the uterine events which happen during the menstruation. We can see that the uterus is getting ready for implantation and pregnancy. So, menstrual cycle is preparing the female for fertilization and for pregnancy. Menstrual cycle starts at the age is called puberty. It temporarily suspends during a period which is called as pregnancy. During the initial months of lactation also, menstrual cycle gets suspended. Permanently it stops at menopause. What is the age of menopause? It's variable, but usually in most of the cases it's at the age of 50 years. Now, when does it start? It starts at puberty. What is the age of puberty? It is 10 to 14 years. Now, what are the post-menopausal effects we were discussing, right? Let's discuss that. We told the main effect, what we can see in post-menopause this is decrease in the estrogen levels, right? Post-menopause effects. What we can notice is decreased levels of estrogen hormone. There are follicles are not developing. Follicles only will produce estrogen. When follicular development is not there, then the estrogen levels will go down. So, and they will experience hot flashes. What do you mean by hot flashes? They feel that the body temperature is getting increased and all the temperature, it will shoot on their face. So, feeling of heat generation. What is hot flashes means? It is nothing but the feeling of heat generation. Mood swings will be there. It is because of the hormonal changes what are happening. Mood swings will be there, and since the hormonal production, estrogen production is less, it decreases the strength of the bones. Decreased strength of bones. Anxiety will be there. Fatigue right? Since we know that in women, testosterone only will get converted to estrogen. Since estrogen is not made, testosterone levels will be projected. Means we will not tell that the testosterone levels are as high as that of males, but then the decrease in estrogen shows a little high levels of testosterone. Increased testosterone levels we can find here. These testosterone levels will cause like certain changes like hair development on the face, not in all but in few, hair development on the face, right? So then aggressiveness. So all these are the changes which we can see at the post-menopause stage. So what is menopause? Menopause is a place where menstruation stops. So when the menstruation stops, what are the changes we can see? Estrogen, female sex hormones becomes low. Ovulation will not happen. Irritability will be there. Mood swings because of the hormonal imbalances. And since estrogen levels are low, bone strength gets decreased. Then anxiety will be there. Fatigue, weakness will be there. Testosterone levels will be higher. It leads to aggressiveness. So this is about the postmenopausal effect. Now if you see, when does the menstruation starts? At puberty, right? And what is the first menstruation called? The first menstruation is called menarche. The first menstruation is called menarche. And the last menstruation, when can we see? At menopause. So this menstrual cycle, ovarian cycle, is the cyclic events from menarche to menopause, from the first to the last. We can tell that the ovarian cycle or the menstrual cycle is the cyclic representation. It is the cyclic representation of events. From when to when? From menarche, from first menstruation to the last menstruation. From menarche to menopause. Right? Did you understand this? What did we discuss in this board? In this board, we discussed about the postmenopausal effects, and then we were talking about menstruation starts at puberty. The first menstruation is called as menarche. The last menstruation is called as menopause. And this period from the first menstruation to last menstruation, that cyclic events are represented as menstrual cycle. Now this menstrual cycle has how many phases? We can call main phases are 3. So the phase where menstruation happens, day 1, the phase where menstruation happens, where we can see the menstrual fluid bleeding out, is called as menstrual phase. This is the first phase, which lasts from 3 to 5 days, 1 to 5 days it will be there. Then the next phase where the follicles are developing, you can see here primary follicle is becoming secondary, tertiary, matured Graafian follicle. When the follicular development is happening, so we can call it as a follicular phase. The follicles are proliferating, so we call it as a proliferative phase, or the endometrium gets proliferated. We call it as a proliferative phase. Then after this matured Graafian follicle, under the influence of LH, so it will rupture, releasing the egg or the secondary oocyte. This is called ovulatory phase. Ovulation happens mid of the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle duration is for 28 days. Mid of the menstrual cycle means it is on the 14th day. 14th day ovulation will happen. Then after ovulation, what happens is called as luteal phase. Carpus luteum gets developed. The degenerated Graafian follicle turns into a temporary endocrine tissue called corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is formed, so that's why it's called luteal phase. This corpus luteum starts secreting progesterone hormone, so that's why it's called secretory phase. So these are the events. We can tell that there are 3 phases in the menstrual cycle: menstrual phase, follicular phase, and secretory phase. Take a screenshot, then we will continue. Right. We'll start with the first phase then. What is the first phase called? Menstrual phase. Right? So through the diagram we can learn. The first phase is called menstrual phase. It's also called menses. It is also called bleeding phase. It is also called bleeding phase. Now, what can we see in this phase? Is it the first phase? Yes, it is the first phase because it starts on day 1. And what is happening here? Carefully, if you see in the uterus, like the endometrium is shedding off, the unfertilized egg is shedding off. So, it is coming out as menses. So, in the menstrual phase, which is the first phase, it's a breakdown of the endometrial lining, blood vessels, and the unfertilized egg will be shedding out in the form of a menstrual fluid. So, we can tell this menstrual phase, it lasts for 3 to 5 days and it is the first phase. So, during this phase, what happens? It is due to the breakdown of endometrium, then breakdown of blood vessels, then next unfertilized egg, it comes out, right? It comes out as menstrual fluid through the vagina. So, endometrium, what is endometrium? It is the inner lining of the uterus, right? In the endometrium only, if the egg gets fertilized, it gets implanted, right? Endometrium is a nutritive tissue, it provides nutrition for the egg, right? Now, this endometrium, which is a nutritive tissue, which helps in pregnancy and implantation, if fertilization doesn't happen, is there a role of endometrium? No, right? Then that endometrium starts shedding down. When the ova disintegrates, when the ova degenerates, then endometrium will understand that there is no role of endometrium. That endometrium breaks down. The lining of the endometrium scraps out. It comes out. Then along with the blood vessels, inside the endometrium blood vessels are there. So, blood vessels also will come out in the form of menstrual fluid. Usually, how much amount of fluid comes out in the menstrual flow means it's 40 to 150 ml. During that duration of 3 to 5 days, 40 to 150 ml of the menstrual fluid will come out. In this, approximately 50% will be the blood content. It will be blood. The remaining 50%, what does it include? The remaining 50% includes cervical mucus, it includes vaginal secretions, it includes endometrial lining. Out of this 40 to 150 ml of the menstrual fluid, so 50% is the blood content and the remaining includes cervical mucus, then vaginal discharges and endometrial lining. Okay, all this together we call it as a menstrual fluid. So, if we tell it is blood, it is wrong because 50% is only blood, the remaining 50% includes all this collectively together. And menstrual fluid or menstrual blood will not clot. Why it will not clot means the acidic pH, the lactic acid which is present in the vagina and the plasmin protein which is present in the endometrium inhibits the clotting of the menstrual fluid. So, what did I tell? Acidic pH in the vagina, lactic acid pH, right? In vagina. And what is the second factor we told? Plasmin protein. Plasmin protein of endometrium. What do? They prevent the clotting of menstrual fluid. If the fluid clots, blood cannot flow. So, it's a waste blood which has to flow means it should not clot. Then what are the factors which are helping blood to not to clot means one is acidic pH, lactic acid present in the vagina. Other one is the plasmin protein which is secreted by the endometrial lining, right? Now, menstruation will occur, the bleeding will occur if the egg is not fertilized, right? If the egg is not fertilized, then that unfertilized egg only sheds down along with all the layers. Now, absence of menstruation is an indication of pregnancy. Absence of menstruation is an indication of pregnancy, but sometimes due to poor health also, due to stress also, menstruation will not happen, right? So, menstruation occurs Menstruation occurs when the egg is not fertilized. When does it occur? It occurs when the egg is not fertilized. That means absence of menstruation means egg is fertilized. Menstruation will occur if egg is not fertilized. If the egg is fertilized, menstruation will not occur. So we can tell that menstruation may be an indication, absence of menstruation is an indication of pregnancy. Absence of menstruation is an indication of what? It's an indication of pregnancy. But sometimes due to poor health, nutritional health, and due to stress also, menstruation skips. Sometimes due to poor health also, stress also, menstruation skips, right? So now what happens during menstruation? If you see, what are the uterine events which happens during this 1 to 5 days? We told it lasts for 3 to 5 days. What are the events we can see here inside the uterus is the endometrium is shutting down, it's scrapping up. So endometrium lining came down. It came down by the 5th day. And the endometrial lining along with the vaginal secretions, cervical secretions, unfertilized egg, everything is coming out in the form of menses. So these two are the events which we can see in the uterine events. Then what are the levels of the ovarian hormones? The follicles secrete estrogen. The follicles secrete estrogen. Since the follicle is not there, what happens? The estrogen level will go very high. Another hormone, progesterone levels are also very low. Estrogen and progesterone levels, you can see here, both of them are very low. So when estrogen and progesterone levels are low, follicles will not develop, they'll be as it is. Now next, what happens? Estrogen and progesterone levels are also low, LH and FSH are also low. So we can see that in menstruation, these ovarian hormones, pituitary hormones are kept low. There is no development of the ovarian follicles and the uterine endometrium starts shedding. So these are the events here, here and here we discussed. The first phase is called menstrual phase. It's also called bleeding phase. It lasts for 3 to 5 days. What happens here? The endometrium breaks down. It comes out along with the unfertilized egg in the form of a fluid which is called menstrual fluid through the vagina. How much amount of fluid comes out? 40 to 150 ml. What is the major constituent of it? Blood is the major constituent of it. What are the remaining contents? Cervical mucus, vaginal discharge, endometrial lining. Menstrual flow will not clot. Why again? It's because of the acidic pH of the vagina and because of the presence of plasmin protein in the endometrium. Menstruation will occur if the egg is not fertilized. If menstruation is not occurring means egg got fertilized, means it's an indication of pregnancy. But sometimes due to poor health and stress also, sometimes menstruation will skip, right? In this, we can add one more point that the ovarian hormones are decreased. In menstruation, the ovarian hormones, estrogen, progesterone levels are low. Pituitary hormones are also low. Quickly take a screenshot, then we'll talk about the next phase called follicular phase. Now, let's go to the second phase. What is that called? Follicular phase. Now, we discussed that endometrium came out. It has broken down and it came out, right? It's not the complete endometrium, Amma. It is the upper layers of the endometrium. So, one thin layer of endometrium will still be there. On that, repair will happen in the follicular phase and new endometrial lining will be formed. So, what is the second phase here? It is follicular phase. Now, when we talked about hormonal regulation, we discussed that estrogen, if the levels are low, it goes and acts on the hypothalamus and pituitary, it stops its production. Estrogen levels, if they are low, if the estrogen levels are low, it has a positive regulation. It goes back, acts on the hypothalamus, and then the hypothalamus will produce GnRH. Then that GnRH will come and act on pituitary. Then pituitary starts secreting LH and FSH. Now here we have seen that in menstrual phase, the estrogen levels are low. So what happens here? low levels of estrogen and progesterone. Low levels of estrogen and progesterone will stimulate. Where are they going? They will stimulate hypothalamus, right? They will stimulate the hypothalamus, means it is positive regulation. They act on the hypothalamus, then hypothalamus will secrete a hormone called gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Low estrogen levels will trigger the hypothalamus to produce GnRH. Now this GnRH comes and acts on anterior pituitary. Then the anterior pituitary starts secreting the gonadotrophins, which are called luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. On the influence of GnRH, anterior pituitary starts secreting luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Now you can see in the follicular phase, the levels of LH and FSH are rising. The levels of LH and FSH are rising. Under the influence of FSH, the follicular development starts. Now, increased FSH helps in development of follicles. It helps in development of follicles. Now, the primary follicle is becoming secondary follicle. It's going into tertiary follicle. It is growing into Graafian follicle. You can see here, when the FSH levels are increasing, the primary turn into secondary, the secondary turn into tertiary, the tertiary turn into Graafian. So this maturation is happening in the presence of increased levels of follicle stimulating hormone. Now, when the follicles are undergoing maturation, when the follicles are increasing, then these follicular cells only will secrete estrogen. So then the estrogen level also will increase. The developing follicles secrete estrogen then. Developing follicles are secreting estrogen. Now this estrogen and LH, one is estrogen, the other one is LH, will help in maturation of the Graafian follicle. Estrogen and LH helps in maturation of Graafian follicle. It helps in maturation of Graafian follicle. Now, this estrogen will help to repair the endometrium. In the uterus, the endometrium has shed out, right? It has broken down, it has released. Now, since the egg will be released, so implantation might happen. So that's why the repair for uterus should happen. The inner lining should be made again. The estrogen levels are helping in proliferation of the endometrium. So the endometrium is getting thickened here, 2 to 3 millimeters thickness. It will get thickened here of 2 to 3 millimeters under the influence of estrogen. So estrogen, female sex hormone, also helps in proliferation of the endometrium. It helps in proliferation of endometrium. So these are the changes what we can see in the follicular phase. Now, what happens in the follicular phase means, so high level of LH. When the LH levels will increase to the peak, then that is called as LH surge. Under LH surge, the Graafian follicle will rupture. You have seen here high levels of LH. FSH is also more. LH is at the peak, but high levels of LH will rupture the follicle. When the Graafian follicle ruptures, ova gets released when in the mid of the menstrual cycle, which is of a lunar month, 28 days, the mid will be 14th day. So on the 14th day, it is called ovulatory phase. Ovulation occurs. So LH levels increases, which is called as LH surge. So Graafian follicle rupture to release egg or ova. Since the ova is released, it is called ovulatory phase. It is called ovulatory phase. Nowadays, we have LH kit in the market, right? People who are planning for children, now they want to check when in a menstrual cycle. So when is the ovulatory day? So that from the time when the ova is released, the viability of the ova, the lifespan of the ova is only 1 day. Within that day, copulation should happen, sperm should be released, and that sperm will have chance to meet with the egg. Fertilization can happen. So to check whether the ova has released or not, so they have an ovulatory kit. What is there in that kit? So when the LH levels are increased in the body, that LH comes out in urine also. So morning sample of urine contains that LH hormone. That LH hormones, we can check how much levels of LH are there in a kit. If the levels are high, then only the line of precipitation will come. It's an indication that yes, now ovulation will happen, means LH levels are high. It's a period of ovulation. So we discussed detailed about proliferatory phase. Proliferatory phase from which day to which day? It lasts from the 5th day to the 14th day. It lasts from the 5th day to the 14th day, and the 14th day is the ovulatory phase. So the second phase is called follicular phase. So in this phase, what happens is the low levels of estrogen and progesterone, they go and trigger the hypothalamus to produce GnRH. That GnRH triggers the hypothalamus to produce GnRH. The GnRH comes and acts on the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland secretes two gonadotrophins which are called LH and FSH. Follicle stimulating hormone helps in the development of the follicles. Follicle stimulating hormone helps in the development of the follicles. Primary goes to secondary, secondary grows and becomes tertiary, then it becomes Graafian follicle. Then these follicles will secrete estrogen. Then the estrogen level is also increasing. The estrogen with this LH helps in maturation of the follicle. Now this estrogen also will help in repair of and building up the endometrium. The endometrium thickens by 2 to 3 millimeters. Then this estrogen helps in proliferation of the endometrium. Then LH levels, when they are very high, it's called LH surge. So at that LH surge, the Graafian follicle ruptures, releases egg on the mid of the menstrual cycle, which is called ovulatory phase. Now LH kit will be there, right? What we call it as ovulation kit. I'm talking about ovulation kit. In ovulation kit, we can check for the presence of LH hormone. Okay, people who are planning for children, they check their LH levels. Understood? So take a screenshot. Then we will talk about the third phase, which is called as luteal phase. So secretory phase, fast, take a screenshot. Yes. Now let's go and talk about the third phase. What is that called? Secretory phase. Now in these three phases, secretory phase is the longest phase because menstrual phase is only for 5 days. Then from the 6th day to the 14th day, means 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 8 to 9 days is only follicular phase. Now the remaining 14 days comes under secretory phase only or luteal phase. What is it called? It is called luteal phase. Now what happens in this luteal phase? In luteal phase, after the release of the egg, implantation can happen, right? So then this ruptured Graafian follicle under the influence of luteinizing hormone undergoes luteinization, deposits carotenoids and fatty substances, and the ruptured Graafian follicle turns into corpus luteum. So what is this, children? Primary follicle, this secondary follicle, this tertiary follicle, this Graafian follicle. What is this? This is ruptured Graafian follicle. What is this? Ova. The ruptured Graafian follicle has transformed into corpus luteum, which is a temporary endocrine tissue. By depositing lutein and carotene, it has developed into corpus luteum. I'm telling that this corpus luteum is an endocrine tissue. It starts secreting progesterone, pregnancy maintaining hormone. So when the progesterone levels are high, it has to maintain pregnancy, means the endometrium should become thicker, right? So here you can see, here it is completely shut down, here it started doing repair, here the thickness is very high. it reaches 5 millimeters in thickness. The endometrium reaches 5 millimeters thickness here under the influence of progesterone. Estrogen levels are also high, progesterone levels are also high. Then this corpus luteum will maintain this, and LH and FSH levels are decreasing here. Now, during this time, if copulation happens, then there are chances of fertilization. When fertilization happens, it leads to implantation. But if the sperm is not able to fertilize, then the egg has to shed out. Then when the egg is shedding out, then endometrium is also not required, then that also sheds out. Then a next cycle will start. So what are the changes we can expect in the luteal phase? The ruptured Graafian follicle develops into a temporary endocrine tissue. What is the temporary endocrine tissue called, children? It is corpus luteum, which starts secreting female pregnancy maintaining hormone called progesterone. Now, this progesterone helps in thickening the endometrial lining. Right? It helps in thickening the endometrial lining. Since the corpus luteum is formed, it is called luteal phase. Since the corpus luteum is secreting progesterone, it is also called secretory phase. So, this is the longest phase in the menstrual cycle. It lasts from the 15th day to the 20th day of the cycle. So, it's approximately 14 days. So, that's why we can tell it's the longest phase. Now, at this luteal phase, estrogen levels and progesterone levels are high. Estrogen levels and progesterone levels are high. They are maintaining the uterus for pregnancy. Now, it depends whether copulation happened or it did not happen. If copulation happened, when the sperm comes into the female reproductive tract, then there are chances for the sperm to meet the egg. If copulation doesn't happen at that time, then the sperm is not there. Then the viability, the lifespan of ova is 1 day only. Then the ova starts shedding down. When the ova sheds down, then this endometrial tissue also comes down along with these blood vessels. And the next cycle starts. This is menstruation again. So, what happens in the luteal phase, which is also called secretory phases? The Graafian follicle ruptures, and when the Graafian follicle ruptures, that turns into corpus luteum under the influence of LH, right? So, rupturing of Graafian follicle develops into temporary endocrine tissue called corpus luteum in the presence of LH. So, LH will do this, right? So, then it will maintain the endometrial lining for pregnancy. You know what is the test which helps in detection of pregnancy? The test is called Gravin-Dix test. In this test, they check for the presence of HCG hormone. HCG is a hormone which is seen only in the pregnant women. Now, HCG hormone gets excreted in the urine also. Now, if the urine sample contains pregnancy, if the ova has been fertilized with the sperm, then the ova starts implantation and it confirms pregnancy. Then what happens? HCG hormone production starts. This HCG hormone, we can detect it by using the pregnancy kit. The pregnancy kit's name is called Gravin-Dix test, where we drop the urine here, and here you absorbed HCG antibodies. If the mother is pregnant, then her urine contains HCG hormone. That HCG hormone reacts with the HCG antibodies and it makes a line of precipitation. This is a test line and this is the control line. If two lines are coming, it's positive pregnancy. If only control line is coming, there's no line at the test sample, means the mother's urine is not having HCG hormone. If HCG hormone is not there, that means its development did not happen. Zygote formation did not happen, because HCG hormone is seen only at the time of pregnancy. Understood? So we discussed about ovulation kit also to check when did ovulation happen, so that they can increase the chances of fertilization by doing copulation. And we checked how to confirm pregnancy also. The name of the test is called Gravindex test, where we check for the presence of HCG hormone. Hope you understood about menstrual cycle. In the next session, we will talk about pregnancy and fertilization. If the lectures are informative, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.